Hey guys, and welcome to another ETTO Catchup, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing this week, because we're doing an AMA. I'm Josh.
I'm Will, and it's going to be straight to the point, just chatting about things that our patrons have asked us to chat about.
We've just, I don't know, we've like exhausted the things. There's not a lot happening right now.
Nothing's coming out at the moment because of the situation,
Yes.
so, you know.
So this is a thing, and it'll be a nice way to just chill out, kick back, and connect with our Patreons and the little community we've built up, which is awesome. All right, shall we kick on and jump in?
Yes, that sounds like a way to do things. I'm going to kick things off with Lama Loki's question one of two, and the second question only just happened, so, you know. He was to the point about that too. Do you like the Lego Ninjago, more realistic Lego animations in Lego games, or the Force Awakens style animations with the bendy legs and arms? Do you have an answer, Josh?
Look, I haven't played many.
Yeah.
The bendy arms is fine.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fun and more like cartoony, and I think it probably allows for more like slapstick comedy, like
Yes.
the Lego games are known for.
It's only ever been used for Ninjago, and for, I think, the Lego Movies games had it as well. And it works for them because that's based on the film, and that's the visual style that the films go for, so it definitely works for the games. But yeah, I think there's just a lot more freedom when you can bend the parts a little bit more. Although, by the looks of the new Skywalker Saga game, they seem to be tailoring the figures to be a lot more direct to the actual minifigure counterpart, so we'll see how they kind of move around in that game. But I think I definitely prefer when their limbs bend.
Cool. Fair enough. And you said there were two from Lama Loki.
Yeah.
So do you want to jump back to whatever the other Lama Loki one was you were going to ask?
It's Astromechs or BB-8 units. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know what an astromech is, but I assume BB is like BB-8.
Yeah, and Astromechs are the R2-D2s, basically.
Right.
And I went with Astromechs because BB-8 is cute and all, but like the Astromech will do whatever. Like, they don't roll their eyes, and because BB-8 just sometimes he's like, all right, I'll go help, I guess. Whereas R2, he's straight out there. There's all those ones in like the Phantom Menace that all just go on top of the ship that know they're gonna die, but they're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna help out. They all die. But point is, I think Astromechs are a bit more determined, and BB units are just like, I'll do what I have to do.
Fair enough. I think I would go the other way because BB-8 seems a lot more, well, at least Poe treats it a lot more like a puppy dog.
Yeah.
And lately I've been really feeling
Yes.
like I miss my dogs. So, yes, I would absolutely go for a BB unit because they seem a lot more playful, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Lots of fun.
But I'm an old man, you see. I don't need the puppy.
You're very practical.
Yeah.
You're going very, very practical, which is fair enough. That makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Our next question comes in from Emerson, and it is, are you excited about the new Baldur's Gate coming soonish? Now, I speak for both of us, but not our thing, is what I wrote.
Yeah.
Not entirely our thing. It looks really cool and pretty unique design for this kind of like magical RPG. Like, it doesn't actually look like a lot of the others, which is nice.
Yeah, totally. I haven't played a Baldur's Gate. This is probably something, out of the two of us, something I'd probably more jump into.
Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into the new one, but having looked at the old ones being the sort of orthographic dungeon crawler kind of thing, that's definitely more so probably my jam than yours. I'm keen to see what they show us as developments are made.
Yeah, I think there's something coming up with all the Summer in Games stuff. There's some new trailers and stuff coming up soon.
Yes. Very good.
Also from Emerson is coffee or tea, and which kinds? Where do you sit on that?
I have mocha and hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Would be mine. Iced tea.
Yeah.
Usually peach iced tea. Would be mine as well, or the mango, just like your Lipton. Is it Lipton?
Yeah.
Are they the good one?
The one full of sugar.
Yes. But lately, I've been drinking mulled wine. I'd never had. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'd never had mulled wine. Shut up. I'd never had mulled wine before, but for me, it tastes more like tea than wine. It's like, I love mulled wine and I don't like wine.
Right.
Wine is amazing. Mulled wine is amazing. Oh my gosh, I have not. I haven't been drinking it. So basically, mulled wine is like it's like wine that you put on the stove and you sort of heat it up and then pour it in a cup. The one that I've been drinking is from a local bar that some of my friends actually own, but because of the situation right now in the world, they've had to close the bar, and they've decided to make some packaged drinks. So you can get a bag of mulled wine off their website. It's called Scarlet and Clove from Bar Clara, if anyone who is of legal drinking age would like to get it. They recently just worked out how they can ship alcohol Australia-wide, so you can now buy it from Melbourne. Yeah, it's delicious, and throw a wedge of orange in there as well. It's like nothing else. It's really like cinnamony and stuff. I guess the clove, like spices kind of come out in it as well. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It's really, really good.
Melbourne has changed you. I have like a tea before I go to bed, just an English breakfast tea kind of thing, which is, unfortunate with the name. But and then like a couple of green teas. I had a lot when I was in hospital earlier last year because they went through. Mm-hmm. And I haven't had hot chocolates in a long time. Like I guess now that we're going into the cold season, maybe I'll get back to them. But I don't remember having many last year. So, I don't know, just teas for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I like have drank very little actual tea. Like ever. I think I've had like a berry tea once and it was fine, and a peppermint tea and it was also fine. Someone like last week made me try, I think, like an English breakfast. It just basically tasted like hot water and what I've smelt from a tea bag from making teas from my parents and stuff.
Yep.
It didn't taste like anything that I would enjoy drinking frequently. I don't know what it is.
It sounds like you're describing coffee, because that's what whenever I smell coffee, I almost throw up.
Yeah, fair. But at one stage you did just eat straight coffee, so that would destroy your brain.
Yeah, it put me off.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we have Dolphin Pants. Lucas, he has asked, I've pushed this to the front because my roommate is currently constantly watching this show. That is my answer. But the question is, what is a TV show everyone says is good, but you think is just awful? I paraphrase because I don't swear. I apologize. Yep. But yeah, my roommate has nonstop been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Look, I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea at all.
You don't even like tea, so...
Yeah, that's right. It probably should be, but I don't know. The bits I've watched, I'm like, it's just kind of dumb and soulless.
Yeah.
My roommate just he watched the last episode. I was there when he watched the last episode. And then I don't know if it was hours or just a day later, he started again from scratch. He was watching episode 1 and he's still going through it. Every single night he's watching multiple episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine just non-stop.
Maybe there's some sort of illicit drug in it.
Could be.
Somehow it's transmitted digitally. Because that's all I know, that people that watch it, they just watch it over and over again.
Yeah.
In a way that I've never heard before. It's mine as well. That was the one I wrote down too, was Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Because I can't stand it at all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows that I say I despise, and then I'll watch a few and I get it. Like Rick and Morty, which, I can't go back to now because I the culture surrounding it, just, I can't get back into that. And Arrested Development, I thought I was going to despise, and then I ended up making a short film for my birthday about it. There's some shows that I'll get there with, but this show from the first episode, I didn't even get through that. I think I was watching it when I was in New Zealand with Zara, and I just couldn't. I was like, can we go back to Arrested? Because this is just, it's so empty. It's so vapid.
Yeah, because you and I were saying it's like it wants to be Scrubs, but Scrubs has heart. Scrubs has a lot of emotion and heart behind it, and from the parts that I've seen of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's just trying to be straight comedy.
It's like constant SNL sketches. It's just never ending.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there should be an end to this. There should be an interlude, but it's just a whole episode of it. I don't want to hurt people's opinions on this show, but I just can't.
Yeah, we're sorry, guys. I don't think I'm that adamantly against it as you are. But yeah, that's a show everyone loves, and
we don't.
From the 10 episodes I think I've watched, it just hasn't Hasn't clicked.
No.
Yes.
Next up is Jade, and they asked, do you have a favorite bubble tea? You may list several. I don't think either of us have to. The only thing that I could think to put on this list was the Widowmaker drink from Gigi Easy, because that's technically a bubble tea.
It was, yeah.
It's vodka, frangelico, black Assam tea, there's your tea, taro powder, which we found in the definition because it kept turning up in all the alcoholic drinks that we were drinking.
You've been having them recently, haven't you?
Lots of Widowmaker, non-dairy creamer, rainbow coconut jelly, and then, of course, the golden tapioca pearls. So my one bubble tea is the Widowmaker from Gigi Easy, which is a gaming bar in Melbourne. Do you have a drink for this?
I have never had a bubble tea before. I've never tried one. I should have tried that one.
Well,
next time you come down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tried a bunch from there, like, of other drinks, and I don't think I liked many of them.
Yeah.
Except for, what's the Fortnite one?
Slurp juice? Yeah.
Slurp juice. That was delicious.
You did the intelligent thing as an adult that's allowed to drink alcohol. You went, these things seem intelligent and there's lots of things going on. When in actual fact, you should have been Josh and gone, that has sugar in it and so does that, so I'm going to have those.
Pretty much, yeah. That's definitely my downfall. I need to just chase the sugar.
Just chase the sugar, Josh. Or just dive into your backpack.
Oh, man. That would have been way better. Next up, we have Grubby asking, what sort of casual/mobile games do you like to play, if any? Or are there any games you find yourself going back to? Will?
Yeah, there's two that have stayed on my phone since I got it. And it's Paco Forever, which is like this drift game where it's kind of like all the SMG games are the one more thing where it's just a single finger.
Yeah.
But it's just so addictive because it's like an endless map that you can just keep driving and the police come after you and you get constant power-ups and there's like random encounters where something that makes no sense happens and you have to avoid it or you have to kind of steer it towards the police.
Is it like an infinite runner?
Yeah, basically.
But like a drifting race car?
Yeah, you're drifting around like a kind of procedurally generated map.
Cool.
It's super fun. Lots of different maps as well. The other one is Altos Odyssey, which is the sequel to Altos Adventure, which is that bobsledding game that's just really, what's the word? It's just very calming. Like it's just, you can have it on. Again, it's basically only one touch to actually play it, but again, totally endless. Lots of achievements to do, and it's just, the music is peaceful. Everything, it's a beautiful sound design. They always win all the awards, so that one's a good one. And the third, which I said there was two, but there's a third one that isn't those, is Bad Game from Danny, which is like a Swedish YouTube game dev, and he's got so many terrible games on the Android store, and the one that I've stuck with is his Bad Game, which is like tapping onto squares, and it's kind of like swinging through, again, an endless screen of things and seeing how far you can go. But yeah, check him out as well if you haven't, Danny, on YouTube, Milk Gang.
Yeah, not Orange Juice Gang.
No.
So dumb.
Yeah, so I guess my main thing is like, I like endless ones that'll just keep going, mainly because it's just a good one for the pooper.
Fair enough.
Because you can just sit there, play like an endless round, and you're probably done.
Yeah. And are there games that you find yourself going back to that aren't those?
As in, so I take this to be like just games in general?
I think so, because they went for casual mobile games and then or are there any games you find yourself going back to? So let's go more general.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the only real in recent memory is like the Spider-Man game, but not to play it, just to swing through the city. Because if I'm sitting on the couch with the sound system, it's just a nice couple of minutes just swinging through that. But outside that, I play games to finish them, so there's not many games that I really come back to.
Which is funny because you only play, on your phone, you play games that you cannot finish.
Exactly, yeah. And it's literally just 3 games. I'll download a game for like maybe 2 hours and then delete it.
Fair.
I haven't had more than that. That's why, good on Danny for his shit-ass game. It's broken the trend.
And you go back to, back and forth to Battlefront 2.
Yes.
But that's generally just because now people are playing it again.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I would add that, but now it doesn't even feel like a going back to game. It's like, I'm just playing this game now.
Yeah. What about Overwatch? Have you gone back to Overwatch lately?
I was actually thinking about that the other day because I've gone back to Battlefront. No, I haven't touched Overwatch probably since Screenplay, when we used to play it in the office.
Wow.
Like, I was thinking about it though, because I think I would like to go back to it before Overwatch 2 comes out in 107.
Yep.
Because that game will never come out. Yeah, no, I do love Overwatch, but yeah, I haven't gone back to that since 2017. What about you? What mobile games that are of numerical values?
Oh man, are there any at all? Where do I start? Okay.
Neither of what we said just then made any sense.
No, it did not. Every day I wake up and I play PewDiePie's Pixelings.
Yeah, right.
The whole like quest system restarts at about 10 a.m. right on 10 a.m. So I just sit there, and then as soon as 10 a.m. hits, I'm doing that while I'm working. PewDiePie's Tuber Simulator, which is just his idle game. PewDiePie's Legend of the Brofist I jump in and out of because that's just a really fun platformer. Yeah. I went back to that a couple of months ago. I jumped back in and sort of started again.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I kind of want to get it on my computer.
Yeah.
Grindstone I jump in and out of, which is an Apple Arcade game. It looks like a match 3. You kind of draw paths through like colored enemies and you cut them up. Yeah, very similar. It's like a twist on the match 3 kind of system, but it's very, very good. One of the best Apple Arcade launch games.
Yeah, cool.
One called Cremo. It's a pictocross game. It's one of those ones where it's got like numbers on the top and bottom and you have to like fill in the squares to make a picture.
Nerd.
Yes. So it's one of them, but this one has like you're a police officer at a crime scene kind of twist to it, and you're trying to figure out who committed the crime. You find out who committed the crime, what their motivations were, and what weapon they used. And it's always the same like potential people, like types of people. It's like a grandma, an actor, like something else, like all these different types of people, and then like their motivation will be like money or power or revenge or something, and then different weapons and stuff. And it's always funny when you get like the grandma using a Molotov cocktail. It's like, how did you come up with that? It's the best. Another one I jump in and out of is Elderscrolls Blades every now and again. If I'm just lying in bed and don't want to get up and I've done everything on my phone that I could possibly do and still don't want to get up, then I jump in and do a couple of Elder Scrolls Blades quests. Elder Blade Scrolls. And for a while this year, I was playing Cookie Clicker 2.
Deary me.
I know. But I downloaded Cookie Clicker and then Cookie Clicker 2. Cookie Clicker 2 has progressive quests. Like, buy this many things, and then when you get it, it gives you like a bunch of gold cookies to buy these. Like, it's like your premium currency to buy these other special things. And then the next one will be like, bake this many cookies. So you bake all these cookies, and then that's the next step. And it's like levels. So it's actually like I'm going up levels by completing these tasks. And of course, that's just what like... It's what gets me off, apparently. It's freaking amazing. I love it. I've steered away from it now because I got to a point where it's like, get 20 more of these click things. My next auto clicker will take me like a week.
Jesus.
Like if I just left my phone on, probably it would take me that long to get. And I'm like, I think I'm out. I can't, like, that's too long. And that's pretty much all of mine. Currently, I guess I'm playing, Animal Crossing every day.
There's always a hasty message in the Discord of something about turnips.
There is, yeah, on a Saturday afternoon or something. Yes, but yeah, it's been good. I just I don't know how much longer I'm going to play for, but I think I want to get to the credits. Apparently there are credits in that game. There's a few more things that I want to get for my house, and I basically want to there's like a bedroom that I've got that basically looks exactly like my bedroom, including 2 boxes of vinyls, which are literally something that I have in my bedroom right now.
Amazing.
It's 2 boxes of vinyls, and then like an amp and an electric guitar and a skateboard. And it's just like everything that I have in my room currently, like a keyboard and stuff, everything that's in my room right now I've also got in my room in Animal Crossing, which is really cool. Like, I like that. And then I'm also building up to, I think upstairs I want to have like a streaming kind of room up there with like games and stuff in it, arcade machines and stuff. And then downstairs I want to have a band room. So it's just going to be instruments like drum kits and instruments and stuff just set up like a band. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if I'll ever play again once I do that.
I don't know. I just want to say, if somehow you've tuned in at the 25-minute mark of this podcast, Josh is currently talking about a fictional everything. Nothing he's talking about is real.
No.
He's not asking for this to actually exist. It's inside Animal Crossing.
It is. Like, I would like it to exist. My bedroom is most of that. Once I have a house, I'll do it in my real house, but at the moment I can't.
That's just the crossing.
That's it. I think that's all for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Well, let's move on to Halo 2020, bracket force sensitive, question mark, bracket.
Thanks, Alo.
Their first question. Thank you. I don't know why it was me saying thank you back to you. How has your work been during lockdown? How's yours been, Josh?
It's been good. I'm still working full time, just making games. I love it. I love like lunchtime, just getting up, making a sandwich, and playing games or watching a TV show for an hour. Just in the middle of the day, just going and laying on the lounge. It's just the best, and I don't want to go back to work. It's so good. Besides that, I'm doing like Unity stuff just for myself. Outside of that, so I'm just doing a lot of tutorials and thinking of ideas and writing them down and starting them and never finishing anything. Once I finish one of the tutorials I'm doing at the moment, which is a Minecraft clone, which is very fun, I have a couple of other ideas that I'm going to try and focus on. Like, I'm going to just write a bunch down and go, I'm going to make that. And that's going to be my project for a while. So, yeah, that's pretty much work for me. How about you?
It's pretty sick. Yeah, I'm at home still as well. It seems to be like a projected August-ish, but they're not rushing anyone back into buildings, which is a good thing. Still shooting from home, which is generally just Tuesday, and the other days is playing games. My favorite thing, in a similar thing, it's like lunchtime, making a sandwich out of leftovers or, you know, making a sandwich in general, and then just being able to watch some DuckTales for like an hour. It's just so good. It's just so great just having that daily. I feel like I'm getting more done than I ever did because there's so many more avenues that are just all around me. But I will say, and you've mentioned this before, being within the one room for a long period of time is starting to get to me.
Okay, so it actually is now, because I've talked to you before and you're like, oh, I did this all the time anyway, but...
So it was that until I started despising filming the show from the room, and now it's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be filming Spawn Point from within my room, because it's just like, it's just a pain. Moving stuff to film the show used to be fine, but now it's just getting a burden.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I walk in and see these lights and camera, and I'm like, screw you guys. That's why like the first plays and stuff that I put up is just the webcam. Same for you as well. But I'm like, I need to not look at that camera. I need to not look into its eye. Yeah.
It probably just reminds you maybe too much of work.
Yeah.
It's similar-ish for me, but I find when I'm at my own computer, I have like very colorful keyboard and mouse combo that's like, it just sort of changes everything and I'm okay to be here again. Yeah, I'm finding it fine. I just need to get out of my room every now and again, and I very rarely go out. I think at one stage I realized the first time I had walked outside was to go and get something off an Uber Eats guy after about a week of literally not walking out my front door.
Yeah, right.
That was a bad time.
Yeah, I try and get a walk in every day just to get out.
I definitely should do that. I've started exercising, actually.
Nice.
In between work. PewDiePie. Did you see PewDiePie's video this week?
Oh, yeah.
That inspired me. It inspired me to start working out. I bought some equipment like last year, never used it. It's just sitting there. So I get like a 10-minute break in between the start of the day and lunch. So when I take that, I do like a little 10-minute exercise routine since last week. And my whole body hates me so much. Like, it's just falling apart after a few 10-minute increments. I'm really looking forward to, like, because I literally do nothing now.
Yeah.
I sit on a chair and then I get up and I sit on a different chair. I don't carry anything because I used to carry music gear and stuff a lot. I don't do that.
Yeah, true.
Like, I don't do anything. I just sit at a computer or hold a controller. So I think, I really need to start getting into that. Maybe I'll jump back into...
Ring Fit.
Yeah, Ring Fit. And use that more.
I gotta buy my copy of it.
Yes, if it's even available.
Yeah, they're coming back. Come back in July.
Good.
Yeah, no. It seems pretty steady for us in terms of how work has been for you guys during lockdown, as the question was.
Yes.
Get back to it.
Yeah. It's been fine. Totally fine.
But whilst we're at home, it makes sense to also ask the question, is there any particular games that we've wanted to play for a while that are still sitting in your library or shelf? I made a big stack of games, and I've brought them from where they were into the room. Give me like a letter, because I just don't know which one in particular, and I'm like, if you can give me a random letter, and hopefully it'll be the start of one of them.
S.
It is. That's a lame choice. Spider-Man Edge of Time, which is one of the multiverse games.
Oh, yeah, nice. Cool.
That's on the list.
How about F?
F? Nah, out of luck.
M?
Okay. Yeah, so this, I messaged you about this a while ago. The Metal Gear Solid HD collection. This one I legitimately do want to get into.
Oh, nice.
Because this is obviously a franchise I've never touched.
Yeah, cool.
And it has Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and Peace Walker, which it was like 7 or something when I looked into it all. But, it's the Metal Gear series. You don't have to play them in order.
Yeah, that's on PS4, right?
3.
Interesting. I wonder how that would work, because one of the big things in Metal Gear 2, I believe, was there's a boss fight where...
Take over your controller.
Yeah, they take over, like, one of the ports on your console, and you have to change the port over. So I wonder how that works now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just one stick. But yeah, so Metal Gear is probably, that actually legitimate. That was the one I was going to say, but I'm like, I've got a full stack here. Let's have a little game. But yeah, Metal Gear is one of the prime ones I'd like to get into, because I really want to get to like Phantom Pain and stuff, the actual good looking games. And then like after all that, I think that's when I might play Death Stranding.
Okay.
Because I'm like, at least I get the world a bit more.
Yeah, once you get into Kojima's head a little bit more than...
Jesus. Yeah.
If anyone can actually fight their way into that properly.
What's next on your list? Because you've been burning through a few games.
Yeah, I've been getting through a couple. I recently 100%ed and platinumed Control, which was awesome. I'm now really, really looking forward to the final DLC. I have bought the season pass, so I'm ready to jump into that whenever that gets announced and released. I'm currently playing Hollow Knight, so I got a whole bunch of people to vote on a number of Switch games, all indie games that I should play, and Hollow Knight took over at the last minute, which was pretty cool. Dead Cells was winning the entire time until like the last half hour, and suddenly it just shot up.
Such a shame.
I'll get to Dead Cells eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also, I think probably late last year, I got all of the games on my PS4 that I hadn't finished, and I put them underneath my TV. So now they stare me down until I play them. And when I play them, I then put them back on my shelf, so they're no longer looking at me. So the games like Plague Tale Innocence, Nier Automata, Watch Dogs 2, Days Gone, Last Guardian, Persona, and then the rest of those Switch games that are still on my Switch that stare me down every time I turn my Switch on.
I started playing Super Mario Brothers 3 last night, and I got to a level that you had to like run underneath some spikes, and I almost threw my Switch through a wall, and I'm like, I'm done with that game.
Right.
Just speaking of Switch games.
Wow.
I forget how hard these games were. Like, because there was no saves, there's nothing else, it was like, we're going to make this impossible so that you just have this one game for the rest of your life.
So was that on the like SNES?
The like
thing?
The little archive thing they have with Switch Online.
Don't they have like rewind features and stuff?
Yeah.
No?
So I've got like it keeps skipping back like 5 seconds.
Cool. Yeah. I need to like jump into those more.
So the Zeldas, man. Just play as Zelda.
I know. I should like I never played Link to the Past.
Yeah, there you go.
I really should though.
It's on your arm.
Yeah, it is. And that's like some people's favorites.
Well, there you go.
Favorite game. I really should jump into that. Yeah. Where are we now? Roke Al Ru has asked, does the sauce go in the fridge or the cupboard? Will, what do you think?
You buy it, and if you don't need it yet, it goes in the cupboard. But once it's opened, it goes in the fridge.
Okay.
It needs to be cold to be used.
I'm either. I don't really care.
I also don't think I ever feel it being cold either, though. I don't know. I think it's a freshness thing. It's not the fact that it's cold. It's just mentally I'm like, it's better in the fridge.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because I don't think it's ever actually cold, because you're usually putting it on something hot. So you don't really want it to be cold.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we have limited room in our fridge, so ours are in our cupboard here. But back in Sydney, my family always put it in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't really care either way. But for now, for us, it's space saving. But yeah, this is the sort of thing that Fairbairn Films would probably do on their YouTube channel, which I think they probably have. Yeah,
there already is one. Yeah. Look, you're a man that was drinking out of mugs for water, so I don't think the sauce issue, it's just a travesty in that household.
What are you talking? It's just a cup. It just holds liquid. It doesn't matter.
Ceramics aren't made for water.
The entire time we've been doing this podcast so far, I've been drinking water out of an Assassin's Creed mug.
You're a despicable human being.
It's great.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable. A fact that came out of the back of Coffee or Tea from Halo was that apparently in China / Hong Kong, they have something... it's basically yin yang, which is a bit of both, which is so cool and such a good name for it, because it totally makes sense, because you have black coffee or white tea where it's just milk. That's a sick thing. I want to see what this looks like.
Yeah, so what's he mean by that? Is it just
it's both tea and coffee.
Oh, both tea and... Yeah, right.
Coffee with the tea recipe. Amazing.
Yes, I have heard of a similar thing. I think some of my friends used to get something at a cafe where I used to live, where you live.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? They called it like a London fog.
Yeah, right.
I think it was an English breakfast with a shot of coffee.
It's interesting, just because I'm looking at this thing and it's why is it so popular? And it's one must remember that from 1839 until 1997, Hong Kong was under British rule, and so hearing that this delicacy of China was called an English or a British, it's it's an interesting choice to make.
Yes.
A very our area choice to make.
Oh, absolutely.
This question I struggled with. It's from Halo as well. What useless superpower would you have? Because every time I came up with one, I'm like, that's not useless. It's dumb, but it's not useless.
I approached it in terms of useless to anyone else but me.
Yes.
So that's where I came at it for. So my useless superpower was, I kind of came up with two, just in case one doesn't count.
Yep.
Since we're coming into winter, the ability to just warm up my hands would be nice. Because I do not have that ability to do that with anything that is even warm.
Yep.
So throughout winter, you'll often find me going to the bathroom and sticking my hand in a hot tap for about 5 minutes just to try and warm up my hands for about 10 minutes. Just scalding water until my skin is peeling. That generally does the trick for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. They do say the second layer of the skin is usually warmer.
There you go. Yeah.
It's not true.
Otherwise, the ability to not have to sleep.
I did consider that one.
Because I think you and I are men of productivity and progress, and we just like to be doing things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to not have to sleep.
Yeah.
I love sleep, and when I'm in bed and wake up, I don't want to get up.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing things, I don't want to stop.
Yes. In a similar respect, my first one is, I feel like this would be good for a lot of people, but I have a lot of Doritos, so I have a lot of the salsa, and it is by far the worst lid on anything ever. No human being can open this thing. It's insane. So I just want to be able to open the lid without, because it's a process of smacking it against the side, smacking the lid against the thing. That doesn't work. So then you run it out of hot water. That doesn't work. So then you just get one of those rubber things that you kind of put over the top, and it's like a grip mat.
Yeah.
But it always has to be those 3 steps.
Yes.
One without the other will not work.
One of my previous housemates showed me a trick with some of those. If you get a knife and you stick it underneath the thing, underneath the seam of it, it doesn't bend. You don't want to bend it too much, but it releases a lot of pressure.
Yes.
And then whenever he's done that, he's just boop, and it just comes straight off. So try that.
He's an alien. But yeah, I will.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other one is, I'd like to just urinate oxygen so I could just piss myself and it would be benefiting the environment. Because I just drink so much water that I have to go to the bathroom all the time. So I'm like, if I could have the ability to just pee anytime, and not only will there not be a mark, but I'm contributing to society.
What society? Society doesn't exist anymore, Will.
This is true.
That would probably be one of the most useless superpowers right now, because the grass is growing back, the trees are coming back, and nature is growing, and the air is better than ever before right now. So you're contributing
to nothing.
Pea air.
Yeah.
Would do next to nothing right now.
Don't need my timber.
Would have been helpful last year.
Yeah.
Or like the beginning of this year in Australia when no one had air, it was just smoke.
It's true. Could have pissed everywhere.
Could have.
Would have helped everyone.
That's right.
So for now, yeah, it's like, you know, when you have markless? That's what I'm trying to say. Deodorant that doesn't leave a mark. That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
For pee. That's what I'd like.
Yeah. And it would probably save water too.
This is true. Less flushing.
That's it. Less flushing. Next up, we have another one from Emmy. She has asked, what part of making content for ETTO do you enjoy most? Will, what do you love?
Finishing it.
Okay.
I mean, I just like making things. It's the thing that I struggle with Spawn Point, because so much of it is just writing a review, filming it, and it's gone. So having ETTO to be able to start and finish a creation is just so good. And obviously being at home now, being able to spend more time with each video is really, really good. So yeah, I just like putting stuff out into the world and like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just leaving a mark, although not my urine.
Of course. Yeah, I agree. For me, it was playing the games. So, like, I'm not very good at editing. Like, I enjoy it, and I'm learning a lot more and exploring a little bit more now that I have a bit more time to make things. And I've made a lot lately, I feel.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy with, but I think I'm going to take a little break for a couple of weeks.
Look, you've met your quota of 7.
That's right. Yeah. From last year. I beat last year already. Other than that, that's if I'm by myself. The part of making content when I'm with you is when I'm with you.
Yeah, totally.
So when we're together making content, that is the best. We get the best out of both of us. I feel doing that. I bounce off you much better than I bounce off no one. We're just usually doing something real dumb, and it's just...
We failed to create a full video for Brief Battles, but because of just us, we managed to create half a video that was probably better than the full video that didn't happen.
Exactly right. It's just like, we just managed to put something together, and it's usually so much fun.
Yeah.
Making anything with you, whether it's for ETTO or this... like this podcast, is one of the reasons why we have the podcast, because it's the easiest way for us to make something together.
Yeah.
Although now I have better internet, so we can do more things
multiplayer,
online, which is great. Just making stuff with you is the best. Otherwise, I just like playing the games and chatting about them. And yeah, I I love putting things out, but I'm bad at editing, and so that's my most frustrating part. It's just time consuming, and I'm not very quick. So that's annoying, but I like doing it, but it's annoying. It's a weird in-between thing there.
We'll have a tips session, which sounds terrible. Let's move on to another question from Halo 2020 bracket for sensitive question mark bracket. Favorite type of cookie?
I just love a straight up standard homemade fresh doughy choc chip cookie where the choc chips are still melted. But if you want something that you can go out and actually purchase yourself, Woolworths have really thick, just like choc chip cookies or double choc or triple choc cookies, which are amazing. Like just the standard Woolworths ones.
Yep. Really
good. Like super thick, but soft. Oh, they're just really, really good. If you haven't tried them, go grab them.
Yeah, great. Apparently. You're a choc chip man. I would go for a shortbread cream from Arnott's.
Ooh, very nice.
Always good. It's just a very good biscuit. It's very good.
It's fair.
Yeah.
And another one from Allo. Favorite ETTO member? Who'd you go with?
Sam or Josh Finch?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I said Beanox.
Oh yeah, he's a good one.
He's a good one. Or as I was gushing over before, you.
Ah yes.
I just love making stuff with you.
Oh yeah, you're all right too.
Yeah, thank you. Not too bad. Allo again. Asked for favorite Patreon member.
Jesus. You, Elo.
I said Emmy because she bought our way into our hearts, bought her way into our hearts by buying us things. And she's just a very delightful person. Yeah. She's one of the few that we've actually met in person. Mm-hmm. You're all incredible, but Emmy bought me things.
How many of you have given me a mug that it's the only mug I use for using when it's not water, because drinking water out of it would be sacrilege? I have it with my tea, you insane person.
That's right, everyone else.
Yeah.
Buy us mugs.
Buy us more. Well, don't buy Josh mugs. He's got enough.
Maybe buy me some cups.
Yeah, some cups.
Glasses. Some cups.
Buy him some cups.
Love you, Emmy. You're the best.
All right, let's move on to Grubby, who says favorite feel-good movie.
There you go. What are you thinking?
Oh, you sound so excited. I'd say I went. Well, it's like almost themed. Is the Christmas one would be Elf. Like, there's no other Christmas movie. I'd actually say there's no other Christmas movie I would like to watch.
Yep.
Like, I enjoy Polar Express. I always have. I love that movie. But it's like, I'd be happy with just Elf if they deleted every other Christmas movie.
Okay.
Let's just feel good. Last Crusade, which I've said is my favorite movie of all time. I'll always be happy to watch that. But one that I don't think I mentioned in our movie podcast or ever is Salmon Fishing in the Yemen, which is Ewan McGregor and Emily Blunt. And Ewan McGregor, I can't remember what it is. I think he's a reporter or something. I've seen this movie many times, but I watch it because it's very visually beautiful. In that, I mean, they go to, like, the Yemen, which is this beautiful sandy plains, but the other half is just friggin' dull Britain, and I just like looking at rainy Britain.
Okay.
But it's, it's all about, like, legitimate for salmon fishing in the Yemen. They open the floodgates and allow the fish to pass through to the Yemen, and it's about infrastructure and shit, but it's interesting. I really enjoy it. I mean, it's Ewan McGregor and Emily Blunt. What am I going to do? It's lovely to watch.
Fair enough. I looked up what a feel-good movie was. Because I was just trying to think of, like, movies that I do watch like this. But when I looked it up, I just looked through what Google, like, suggested as feel-good.
Yeah.
The second one that came up was La La Land.
Nice.
So I'm like, sweet. I
guess that one.
Jump on that. But other ones that came up, one of them was School of Rock.
You're set.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Let's take this list.
And one of the other ones that I feel like is like a true feel-good movie that came up was Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, yeah, that's in the same league as salmon fishing for me. Definitely,
yes. Yeah. I would imagine so. So that's probably my, like, that is actually a feel-good movie. The other ones, I don't know if I would call them a feel-good movie.
Yeah, La La Land is pretty sad.
Yeah, it kind of is. And School of Rock, I don't know if that's a feel-good movie. Like, it's a...
No.
I don't know. It was in the list, but
yeah.
Secret Life, it's just got the feel-good movie vibe. There's sort of like a vibe to it.
Yes.
So I'd definitely go for that. It's got all the good things, and I recently found out it's got Rodney Mullen, my favorite skateboarder ever.
Did you find out if it has his face?
I have not checked. I haven't looked into it properly, but yeah, the skateboarding scene in Greenland or Iceland, whichever one. That's actually my favorite skateboarder, Rodney Mullen, apparently, which is insane.
Who seems to, from what I've seen, have no idea that he's famous.
I recently read an interview with him, and he said he does not skateboard around people anymore. Mm-hmm. If he goes skateboarding, he goes out at night and tries to find somewhere where no one is, and then he skates there by himself because he wants to try and learn new things. He doesn't want to have people watch him fail.
Yeah, right.
Was his thing, because he's got a bit of a stigma behind him, because he basically he did invent the ollie on flat ground and kick flips and heel flips. He was the guy that did that first. On the ground. People were doing it on ramps, but he did it other ways. Because of the stigma behind him is like, I just don't want people to watch me fail, but I want to innovate and do new things. And he can't do that without falling off. So there you go. Anyway, that was off track. Finally, we have just a slew of questions from Lucas. Obviously, we've had one of his before, but I had to move it up to the top. We've got Which Star Wars property should get the Disney Plus show treatment? And I'm leaving this up to Will.
Okay, you can take that next one. My first one was Hondo Ohnaka, who is a character, because I'm just kind of going with like characters or like ideas. It's interesting the word property, because there's not many Star Wars properties. I'm creating one here. Hondo Ohnaka, who's basically, he starts out in the Clone Wars, he's a bit of a pirate. He's a smuggler, but a lot more in the like, he's a very showy pirate. That thinks he's ahead of the game, but very much isn't. And he's turned up in Rebels as well, and he actually has a full animatronic that was only used for the grand opening of Galaxy's Edge, the big theme park, for some bizarre reason. But there exists one, a live-action translation of him. And I think it'd just be cool, because he would be able to provide kind of like Mando, that kind of side of the underbelly of Star Wars, but in a bit more of a lighthearted thing. And he has a lot of connections to a lot of characters, so it'd be an easy way to bring through some stories, especially with the Rebels, and being in both series, you can kind of jump back and forth there. So I really like him. The obvious one for me is Solo Stories, just a solo series from Disney Plus, please. That's all I want. Continuing either Han's story or Kira's story or Darth Maul's story, I'll take anything. I just want more of that part of the universe. And then third, and I got one after this, just to brace yourself, I don't want to just scare you with like the app question. Poe Dameron, I just want more Oscar Isaac as Poe, because he's just the best thing about that trilogy.
Yep.
It's just so much fun. And again, it's like all three, because he was a spice runner. Again, it's the underbelly. I don't care about lightsabers. I've said this many times. I don't care. I just want to see people shitty bang and fly their spaceship. That's all I care about. But if I was to see some lightsabers, my fourth and final one would be Infinities / kind of what ifs of that Marvel are getting, because I just want to see animated or live action or whatever versions of alternate Star Wars realities. I just want to see what the Lucasfilm Story Group would do with like a good Anakin, or an Anakin that doesn't have his limbs cut off or something.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds sick.
You got any, or are you just gonna...
I was kind of thinking like it would be cool to almost have like an in-between, like Luke training Leia and different things that happen along that line.
Yep.
And even like Little Ben.
Yes.
And him growing up and stuff like that. That would be cool.
That'd be cool. And actually, there is currently rumors that the Rebels sequel show, which would be set in that period, is going to be live action.
Oh.
Because there's been, obviously, Ahsoka, Sabine, you've almost got half the cast already in, possibly in Mandalorian, but then rumors of an Ezra and Thrawn casting have also come out. So there's a possibility the show you just said is actually being made.
Cool. And let's just quickly, because it's related, jump over to one of his other questions, which is, we've had Baby Yoda. Which Star Wars character deserves to be babyfied next? Yeah. What do you reckon? I have two.
Yeah, I got two too. First off, Baby Jar Jar, because just make that worse.
That would be so good.
And then on the other side of that, Baby Maul, because that man is just pure anger, and I want to see where he started.
I said Baby Maul too.
Yeah, good.
Nice. And I also had the one that would probably make the most sense for cuteness would be Baby Chewie.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great.
That'd be pretty adorable. Or, because I've been watching the original trilogy, Baby Crap.
Baby Crap. There's a lot of characters in those movies.
Oh no, he's like one of the big guys. He's the big fat squid
Jabba?
Slug guy. Jabba. Probably Baby Jabba the Hutt. That would be so funny to see him as a baby.
Yeah.
For some reason. I don't know why.
We have seen a Baby Hutt in the Clone Wars, but that was animated. So you could get live action slime.
Yeah, that would be so bizarre and hilarious.
It was funny, like, for this question, I kept trying to come up with characters, but we've seen, like, a lot of baby versions of, like, the main heroes. I just didn't realize. Like, I was like, Rey, but no, we saw, like, a flashback of her. Like, Poe, we see not his birth, but when he was very young in one of the comics. Like, a lot of the characters are covered. Like, Luke as a child in the animated series. Leia, well, you see both of them being born as well. So it's like, it was actually pretty tricky, but yeah, I like Baby Jabba.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. He also asked which Marvel property should get the Disney Plus show treatment. I just straight up said Dupe.
Yeah, good.
It'd just be so funny to get a dupe animated series or even a live action somehow. That would be hilarious. That was just the first thing I thought of and threw in.
Yeah.
And I wrote nothing else. So did you have any others?
My first thought, and it's a weird one, but Spider-Man. And I've said it so many times. Spider-Man would work better as a TV series than as a movie. There's a reason Spectacular Spider-Man is the best version of Spider-Man. Just like, his comic's a villain of the week with an overarching story somewhere in the background. So, Spider-Man series, all the way.
So you're thinking like Tom Holland live action Spider-Man series.
Basically Daredevil, but Spider-Man. And the other one I had was Nova, because that would basically be Marvel, not Disney's, but Marvel's Stargirl, because you could kind of do a lot of cool things with that.
Yeah, Nova would be sick. I want Nova in.
Yeah.
I want him to appear already.
Absolutely.
It's got to be coming. We've seen the freaking Nova core. He was probably there.
Yeah, well, like I've said, probably in a podcast at some point, the Nova movie or series would open, just getting into fanfiction, would open with Thanos' decimation of it because of Xandar. And so you'd see either Nova getting away or you'd see, what's his name? John C. Reilly getting away. But his family, like, all dies, and he's, like, in Stargirl, he's the Luke Wilson that finds the next Nova and, like, trains him. Like, that's your show. You're good to go. Or your movie.
Yeah, that'd be too good. Moving on with the MCU, he said every MCU character has a battle royale, or in a battle royale, who comes out on top.
Where'd you go?
For MCU character, I probably just went pretty standard and said Captain Marvel, because she's basically Superman.
This is true.
And Superman can pretty much destroy anything. Like,
this is true.
Captain Marvel appeared in Endgame by flying through a freaking whole ship and blowing it up.
But she stopped and said, I need help.
Yeah, but that was just so people didn't get mad.
Yeah.
How about you? What'd you go for?
I went with Wanda because she could just be like, hey, I think that you all have no brains anymore, and then no one would have a brain.
It's true.
So I went with Wanda. She can just speak and people are f***ed.
It's true. And I guess in Ultron, she was just literally tearing the robots in half.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, she was just putting their hands up and just tearing them in two. So she could do that with
a human.
Probably pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, magic does sort of trump a lot of them, hey?
It's like, my first two were Wanda and Strange, but I was like, at the moment, at least in the MCU, Wanda doesn't understand her powers, so she could do some bad things.
Yeah.
She wouldn't quite have control over them.
But then also Doctor Strange has time.
He does have time.
So he could just speed time forward and everyone would die.
He just stands still.
Like, yeah, everyone would just age.
Yeah.
There's a few for you. There you go. There's a few answers.
Food for thought.
And final one?
Yeah.
Do you want to read the final one?
Yes, it's still from Lucas because he gave us just so many. It's the last show/movie you watched and the last game you played and now having a crossover game. What is it? Okay, so the things that I was watching at dinner just before we started this podcast and playing, I was watching David Dobrik, if you can count that as a show, which I do because there's 400 episodes, something like that. And I'm watching backwards. And I just reached the double digits. Wow. So
I'm in like the 90s. I'm almost done. And as I've mentioned a few times, and as voted on by everyone recently, I'm playing Hollow Knight. So some sort of David Dobrik Hollow Knight crossover.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work. I guess Hollow Knight has a lot of characters.
Yeah.
There's people that own shops, and there's a lot of like characters that come and go that you like meet up with and stuff, almost like enemies and things. I guess you could take the whole cast of David Dobrik and put them in different places, like over his entire lifetime.
Yeah.
He's like made friends with people in restaurants that he keeps going back to, like the orphan chick.
Yep.
And
Nabil.
The dude in the parking garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just so many different types of these bugs and stuff that come up. So could just straight up, I guess, cast all the characters in that.
And then the weapon of Hollow Knight is just like a Nerf gun.
Yes, or a paintball gun.
Nerf gun or a paint gun, yeah.
That would be great. There's like spells and stuff that sort of cast things out, and that would be like your big foam acid.
Yes.
Sort of firing off into the distance and burning people.
Yeah.
That could work.
That
could work.
Make it.
Yeah, I think I might.
Do it. For me, my last movie I watched was... Oh, man, actually, no, because it could be DuckTales, but I hadn't thought of it. So, Woo! Always that level of excitement. But I'm going with Empire Strikes Back and Filament, which is a game I'm playing/reviewing for Spawn Point, and that's kind of like a connect all the bits of lights and stuff with the colors.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I mean, maybe it's like a navigation-based puzzle where you've got to go around the asteroids in a certain order or something with the Falcon, or alternatively is you're an Ugnaught, which is the little guy. Well, the easiest way to put it is the guy in Mando, the really short guy that owns all the blurgs. They're in Empire. They're the guys that are in the furnace bit that Chewie gets all the pieces of 3PO off.
I recently watched that.
Yeah.
It has been so long since I've properly watched these movies.
Yeah.
I think the last time was probably with you, but we watched them in like a big group, so it was hard to focus.
Yes.
And watching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, all these things. Like, everything just makes so much more sense now.
Absolutely.
Now that I've focused and watched it properly. And yeah, seeing all those guys from like the dude like Mando.
Yeah.
Great. That was so cool.
So it'd be those guys, and maybe they're like rewiring the carbon freezing chamber. And so it's basically the same premise as Filament, but it's that. Alternatively, the last other game I played was SnowRunner. So then it'd just be like a realistic Falcon, Millennium Falcon, going to different places in the galaxy and curing cargo, which I'd be freaking down for.
You're loving those cargo delivery games, like Cloudpunk.
Oh yeah, well I do enjoy that one, but it's just it's like that, moving out, the SnowRunner. There's just so much cargo happening at the moment.
That's right.
But speaking on like watching the movies again, I'm watching them because Vaughn, who you would have seen in some of the vlogs, is down from Darwin, and he hasn't seen Rise of Skywalker, so we're going back through them all. And it's just a trip with that boy, because it gets to the bit in A New Hope where it's Obi-Wan talking about like, this is your father's lightsaber, and he just turns over and he's like, am I supposed to know who his father is? I feel like I've missed a weird detail.
That's so crazy, man.
But
it's so bizarre.
Thankfully, I was like, I think it was the next bit with Obi-Wan and Luke where it's like, if I got the blast shield down, I can't see anything. And it like, for some reason clicked, and he's like, Darth Vader! Darth Vader's his dad. Oh, man. It was so freaking great. But then the issue was, I was explaining to them, we're not going to end up doing it, but the machete cut is watching A New Hope, Empire, 2, 3, 6, so that you don't get the reveal of who the dad is spoilt to you. And so you get like, it's his dad, and then you get to watch Anakin fall to the dark side, and you have that kind of emotional weight then in episode 6 when everything comes together.
Yeah.
So I was explaining, and I'm like, so we're going to skip episode 1, 2, 3, and then Vaughn goes, which movie has him as a kid? And we're like, what? He's like, what? Luke Skywalker's like a little kid in one of the movies. And we're like, no, that's Anakin. And he goes, then, Anakin's played by Ewan McGregor. And we're like, no, he's not. and then he's like, so then who is Anakin Skywalker? Because if Darth Vader's his dad, then who is Anakin Skywalker? And then
that's
halfway
through,
and it's so annoying because his brain must have been racing. Because then halfway through Empire, he's like, they're the same person. They're both. Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, because I'm currently watching with someone who hasn't seen any of them ever.
Yeah.
But is aware of like Yoda and like Luke, I am your father and all that. So they're aware of that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping they're not picking up on the amount of times that they're saying Anakin.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because then we're going to get Anakin, and I don't know if they're going to notice. I don't think they're going to pick up on that. Yeah, once we get to the end of episode 3.
The twist.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to realize that that's actually Darth Vader.
That would be sick. That'd be very cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those little pin drop moments.
Yeah.
So we haven't had too many yet. Mm-hmm. They didn't know that Luke and Leia were brother and sister, but they picked that, unfortunately, before it happened.
It's pretty cool.
And it's funny that we're both doing it at the same time.
Yeah. Unintentionally. The best one with Vaughn, because he knew the Darth Vader bit by the time it happened, but when he cuts off Luke's hand, he just went, F***! It's like, what? I've seen the other movie. I've seen the new ones. He has a hand.
But then in the later ones, he doesn't have a hand.
Yeah, he has a robot hand.
It's so funny that he missed it. His hand
doesn't even have a glove on it. It's just full robot.
I know we're totally off topic here now, but I need to ask you something because I've been wondering about it. In episode 6,
yeah,
Empire Strikes Back.
Well, that's Return of the Jedi.
Yep. That one.
Yep.
That's what I said. Return of the Jedi. You can edit that. You won't.
No.
There's a lot more CGI.
Yeah.
When you're in Jabba the Hutt's
Yeah.
area, there's like people dancing and stuff and playing music.
An entire song.
Is that in the original?
No.
So that was added.
It was 1997.
Right. And when did episode 1 come out?
99.
Okay. So they were like testing their CGI skills.
Yeah. Yeah, look, the whole song bit, oh man, it just hurts.
Yeah. Because when I watched this, I'm like, this seems very off. The CGI, I'm like, this just seems like a weird departure. Yeah, it just seems so weird because they're only like 2 to 3 years apart each.
Yeah.
I'm like, surely they're suddenly not doing this sort of 3D CGI in like the mid 80s.
Yeah. No. That's a travesty.
Yeah. It's very strange.
Episode 5's relatively untouched. The biggest change, which you'll never really notice, is the start. All the shots of the Wampa, like the creature that's dragged Luke back to his cave, that's all brand new. In the original film, it was just sounds.
Yeah, right.
They because there's footage of the suit they had, and it was atrocious. So they just went, "Wow, we can't use that in the movie," so they just cut it out. And then Lucas was like, "We fixed it. There we go."
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense because when we were watching it, we were like, "How did they do that?" In like the late 70s, early 80s. We're like, how did they actually make that thing that big? Like, it was pretty, like, it seemed really impressive because it still looks like a puppet. Like
it still looks like Star Wars.
It fits. Yeah, it fits so much better than the CGI.
Thanks to Lucas for getting us onto the topic of Star Wars. That's always appreciated.
And thank you everyone for all your questions.
Yeah.
This was thrown together in the last, was it only today?
Yesterday I asked for some questions, yeah.
Yeah, so only in the last 24 hours we got all these questions, which has been great. It's filled out a whole podcast.
Thanks, guys.
You're writing our content for us.
That's what we need.
It's nothing to do.
That's right. Doom Patrol's back next week, and next week. Well, actually, possibly. And then Umbrella Academy's the month after. We're getting there.
And I'm going to start watching Harley Quinn in my lunch breaks now.
Yes, good.
The second season, so we'll catch up on that and do an overview of that soon.
Also, there should be a Lego Star Wars The Skywalker trailer this week, which is really exciting. So there's that, and then the Avengers War Table briefing is, I think, this week as well, or next week.
Yes, and there's also teasers of a Sega announcement that's apparently industry-changing, they're saying.
Doubt it.
Which is interesting.
It's a red Sonic.
Well, what I've heard for rumors so far is that they're partnering directly with Microsoft, and it's going to be called Sega Series X in Japan.
Oh.
Because Xbox has not sold well in Japan, so they're going to rebrand the Xbox and call it the Sega Series X just in Japan.
That's not industry changing.
It's not.
It's going to get them more money.
Yeah, I guess two console. I guess if you can even call Sega a console company anymore, like companies coming together and making something together.
That's true.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know how different it's going to be, but apparently we're getting that like this weekend.
It's very exciting. And I mean, they've been teasing a Sonic game for the past 2 years, so they could just, tell us about that too. That'd be nice, but whatever.
Yeah. Make one that's good, that's not made by fans.
Yeah, that's not made by those beautiful Aussie boys.
That's right.
Thank goodness for Christian Whitehead, which I always thought, every time I loaded up the app version, which was made by them, I always thought it was a religious game. I didn't know that there was a Christian version of Sonic. I didn't realize that he wasn't. What did Sonic do in the originals?
It's so good.
But yes, there's some very exciting stuff coming up from us, so stay tuned on all of our platforms.
Yes, and just today at the time of recording, I've released a Neversong playthrough, which is awesome. I've been looking forward to this game for so long, so damn long. So finally got my hands on it, got to play it. So check it out. It's a bit of a long one because there's a lot of story and stuff, but it's very good and very creepy. You have been warned.
It's Chunky Boy. I'm very excited. I'm excited to watch it because you've been talking about this game for so long. So
yes,
I'd like to enjoy it.
It's a good one, and it came out on. I think he got a lot of financial help from Apple to put it on Apple Arcade.
Oh, right.
So it actually came out like a month ago, but I didn't want to record a playthrough of it on my phone because I had a lot of like audio issues, having to edit that Elderscrolls Blades video. There was weird like audio not syncing problems. So I didn't want to do that again, and it would just feel much better playing it on a PC.
Yeah.
So I avoided that, and I love it so much. And now I just want to play it on my phone and on my PC at the same time. Loving that. It's great.
So you can check that out right now on the channel, on the YouTube, if you're not already there. And that's where I'll leave it. I won't say anything in addition to that.
Yes.
Anything in addition to that is wrong.
Correct?
Because every time I talk about both YouTube and Spotify, I get in trouble. From you.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, right. I get it.
It's all right. It's 10:15. We got to go.
Okay. It's the end of the thing.